Before Gareth Jones on Speed, we go live to central London where the FIA is about to make an official statement on the latest fuel temperature irregularities inquest.
Ladies and gentlemen, here is the official FIA verdict on fuel temperature irregularities in Formula One. It is our finding that two teams are indeed guilty of using fuel at an illegally low temperature during 2007. However, subsequent to this finding, we have also discovered equally unlawful behaviour in 10 other teams within the 07 championship. Furthermore, our investigations now lead us to believe that this breach of the FIA rules has been ongoing for the past 12 seasons. We are therefore left with no option but to penalise all teams and their respective drivers for this gross disregard of the rules. As a result, we can now announce that the last team not to be found guilty of technical infringement is the Footwork team of 1995, and that therefore, on countback, the winner of the 07 Drivers' World Championship is Taki Inui.
Oh, thank you very much. This great surprise for me. Oh, I'd be run over by a car again, innit?
Welcome to Gareth Jones on Speed, which is one of the first episodes, really, during what's supposed to be the down season in Formula One. But actually, since the racing stopped, stuff's carried on thundering with hearings with the FIA, and the big one for me, which is Ross Brawn going to Honda.
Didn't see that coming so much. Thought Toyota was going to be.
Yeah, me too.
Replaced.
I don't know. Does he feel that going to Honda is the one that's going to upset Ferrari most or upset Ferrari least? I don't know. Was he loyal to Ferrari, or is it because of all the machinations of the change of management in Ferrari that's been in the last week that he's decided to do this? Because everyone feels like they've been sidelined. I think Jean Todt could be next.
Well, maybe he just feels that Honda is more serious about their F1 effort. I mean, on the basis of the last year, you might... you might wonder if he really made the right decision.
Well, maybe that's it. Maybe he wants the challenge. It's like Toyota are sort of okay, and Honda, frankly, this last season have been rubbish, and he sees more of a challenge there. There's potential. It just needs to be realised, and he might be the man to do it.
I think it's unfair to say that they were rubbish in the last season. They were really rubbish in the last season. That's more accurate. And there's more, right? The old guard is still around. You know, Ross Brawn is still going to make his presence felt. How about testing in Barcelona 2 days ago? Who is the quickest test driver? Anyone?
It's like Back to the Future. I mean, Michael Schumacher, just extraordinary.
Marty McSchumacher, who had to come back to set the fastest lap time or he wouldn't have existed or something.
Oh, it's a time travel thing, is it?
He did 88 miles an hour around the whole track.
Because that's interesting, because I thought Sako Yamamoto might actually be Hiro from Heroes, and he was the time traveller. He'd come back and brought a future Michael Schumacher back. I don't know, did this actually happen?
Watch Heroes, I don't know.
You don't understand that, do you? No.
I also heard that Schumacher had been testing a motorbike
on a Ducati.
Was it? Yeah, he was testing a Ducati, and he was bloody quick on that as well.
He was actually. It's unfair to say he was bloody quick. He was bloody flipping quick. Really, he was.
He won the World Championship, in one practice session or something.
He was within. He did actually. He did that, and he's going to win NASCAR in one race probably next week. That's the thing. But there's some great rumours. There's some fantastic rumours and speculation on the internet about what's going on. My favourite of all of them recently, did you read, was Schumacher to McLaren? Did you read that?
Yeah.
No.
Absolutely no.
No. Schumacher to Super Aguri? More likely. I mean, he'd want to haul up that team from the back of the grid and win it.
No, but hang on. The Schumacher to McLaren thing is that there's two things there, because there was a Michael Schumacher to McLaren. There's also a scurrilous story that when Alonso was finally booted out of McLaren, Ralph Schumacher's manager rang her up and went, I've got a driver you might be interested in. His name is
Yeah, right.
Hello?
I imagine that would have been a very short conversation.
I think the phone conversation. What's Ralph's manager called? Do we know? We don't know. But I reckon the phone conversation went like this: hello, Team McLaren, Peregrine headquarters. Hello, Ralph Schumacher's manager here. I'm wondering if you have a place for my driver, Ralph Schumacher, in your team. I hear you have a vacancy. Sorry, wrong number. You know, they were denied everything. No, this is a carpet shop.
No, I think it was. Sorry, the cleaner's position is now filled.
Hey, ba-boom.
But where is Alonso going to be next year? I mean, this is this is the big one.
What do you think?
Where's he going to end up? I've got a feeling it might be Red Bull. Actually, I think that's.
I think Christian Horner made an announcement today that both their drivers were contracted for next year, but
Really?
that doesn't mean anything these days. Yeah, it's
heard
changing really quickly every day.
Well, it's changing faster than it ever has done. I mean, was there a season where it sort of, the wrapped up the championship and then almost immediately the sort of transfer market started buzzing? Usually there's a bit of a lull and then it goes nuts.
Yeah, I can't remember that.
Yeah, but I guess it's unusual for somebody like Alonso to be in the kind of position he's in now, where basically teams weren't expecting Alonso to be free at the end of this year, and so and then given the internal politics of the team, it's kind of meant that it's created an unusual
one thought
situation.
is he will go to Red Bull because they'll the Coulthard will just get sort of shuffled backwards into a kind of ambassadorial sort of role of advisor or something like that.
It's possible, yeah. I think the whole reason for this hold-up, because Alonso's been made an offer from Renault and he has not accepted it, but neither has he...
Yeah, because he doesn't want to go there for 2 years, basically.
Yeah, but neither has he declined it. Yeah, there are conditions by which he doesn't want to follow, clearly. It's been mooted that Alonso wants to build his own team within a team. It seems to be in his nature from the events of this year. And that one possibility that he was counting on going to Toyota with Ross Brawn.
I was going to say that sounds like a very Schumacher-like, a very Michael-like.
Yeah, that's what he has to do to play the game.
To get a team round him as Michael did with
knowing that he could
Brawn and Tart and Rory Byrne and
the accepted belief is he wants to drive for Ferrari. But he can't for another year because of contracts. But things can change. So if he's made a fantastic offer to do big money, big team around him, you could see him accepting that. And I think, personally, I think Toyota is where we'll hear he's going. But this is just a guess. I know Flavio has invited him back, but they didn't really leave on the best of terms, because remember Alonso negotiated the contract with Ron personally.
Yes.
And Flavio had been his manager. He left him and did this. So there's a
more
bit
than
of bad blood there.
Did he not go and see some other teams about a drive after he'd won his first World Championship?
Is that right? Yeah.
Well, so it's claimed.
Yeah.
So it's claimed. And that, as such, between that and the fact that he basically tried to stitch up McLaren by going to the FIA in that sort of slightly whiny way, that he's earned himself quite a bad rep in F1 because it's a slight sort
he's not looked on as a kind of a loyal, much of a team
loyalty.
player.
That's it, exactly. A lack of loyalty.
That's interesting.
Where will Alonso be next year? Go on, put your money where your mouth is, boys. You think not? You think not Renault?
I think not Renault. And I hadn't heard the statement from Christian Horner, but my feeling is Red Bull. That's
Red Bull, Richard.
First race of the season next year, I think Alonso will be in the living room of his house watching it on telly.
He won't be able to agree terms, you think?
I wouldn't bank on it.
That is possible. That's
gardening leave. I wonder if that's part of the deal, the settlement with Ron. Personally, you've heard me say it, I think it'll be a Toyota. We'll find out soon enough, won't we? It's exciting. Meanwhile, in a Portakabin just off Regent Street, London, Bernie Ecclestone's henchmen are already plotting F1 for 2008.
Okay, guys, script meeting for F1 season 2008.
Okay.
So, where are you up to so far? Alonso leaves McLaren and goes to...
I'm going to say Toyota.
No, too dull.
All right, Renault.
Yeah, and what do we do with Fizzy and Heike?
That's easy, we lose them.
I'm done there.
No, listen, okay, guys, if you can spell their names, they can stay.
They're gone then.
That's good, but we need sex, lies, death, scandal. Come on, guys, let's have it.
Hey, I've got it. Okay, so Bernie returns to his home planet.
Max Mosley outed as a Nazi.
I think we did that one.
And Jackie Stewart turns out to be Welsh.
Okay, and who wins the championship? Ferrari?
Yeah.
And driver?
I'm going to say Saka Yamamoto.
Oh, come on, no one's going to buy that one.
You kidding? Look what they bought last year.
Looking for the ideal Christmas present for the petrolhead in your life? Then why not consider the unique McLaren F1 experience? Run by the actual McLaren Formula One team, the McLaren F1 experience will give your friend or relative the genuine no-holds-barred sensation of being a top-flight racing driver. They'll be flown to a real race circuit in a pointlessly expensive helicopter, where they'll be shown an array of amazing road and racing cars. But don't worry, they won't be driving them because they'll be ushered straight into a conference for some German dealers, where they'll have to make a blandly positive speech and then enjoy tedious small talk until it's time for bed. Next day, it's up bright and early to have a vital merchandising meeting with their manager before being shoved hastily into a photo studio to pose for a series of adverts for a product you've never even heard of, and then straight on to a meet and greet with some competition winners from Latvia. By now, your loved one will be enjoying all the sensations of an actual McLaren F1 driver. But the day isn't over yet, because to complete the experience, we'll then arrange to have their teammate stab them in the back. Have your points docked today with the McLaren F1 experience. Anyone else is just second of the losers. Only $100 million, checks payable to the FIA.
I love the smell of petrol in the morning.
Sniff Petrol!
Lewis, lovely Lewis Hamilton.
I thought you were going to say Lewis Collins, sorry.
You're in professionals mode for a moment there. Already said leap over a car bonnet.
He's going to live in Switzerland, have you heard?
Yeah.
Yeah. Tax reasons and more privacy.
That's what you...
fair enough.
That makes perfect sense. I'd do the same. But there was a great report on BBC World the other day, or BBC News 27, or whatever it's called. Are there 28 hours in the day now? Nowhere in Europe?
No, it just
It
feels
is
like
now
that when you
possible
watch
to fit
rolling
28
news
hours.
channels. They're
Thank you.
desperately trying to fill time.
Yes. There was a report...
I'm standing outside a building, nothing's happening.
There was a report on the news about a bunch of kids who were making their own news reports and stuff in a kind of John Craven's news round for the 27th century sort of way, and doing this online. And they, I think they managed to get an interview with Lewis Hamilton, but the summation of the piece, the final point that they came to, was that the reason they believed that Lewis Hamilton was moving to Switzerland was because he really likes chocolate. I'm willing to go with that one.
That's a really good reason. No, I like that reason. I'd move to Switzerland.
You'd
for the
move to
chocolate.
Belgium for the chocolate, wouldn't you?
Oh, yeah.
Does it outweigh what Belgium offers in other apart from?
It's a different style of chocolate. Obviously, I mean, I think essentially the Belgian chocolate is the better chocolate.
Yes, it is.
Style,
Absolutely,
sure.
it is.
But obviously, in Belgium, you've got the whole beer thing going on. You've got the whole Moulin Fruit thing going on.
Good chips.
And with the exception of yellow, which is a notable exception, essentially Belgium, you've got better music going on.
Every aspect of Belgium. And they've got Spa, of course, one of the finest racetracks in the world.
Yeah,
Switzerland,
Stella.
motorsport is illegal. I mean, come on.
True.
Switzerland
They
is
allow hill climbs.
unbelievably boring.
You can't
Have you ever
race
been to
them-
Switzerland?
Yes, I have
God,
many
it's
times.
boring.
It's clean.
But the trains are so fantastic.
To get out, to get somewhere else.
It's clean there.
It's so
though.
clean. It's so clean. I know you go skiing, but
quite
my
like it,
God,
actually.
it's dull.
I don't know. No,
I think
disagree.
Lewis will move
I've,
there and he'll go, God, I wish the vibrant excitement of Stevenage was here. I mean, really.
He could learn to yodel,
He's an
perhaps.
enormous fan of the TV series Heidi from the 80s. That's why he's moved there.
And he's selling himself as a company, Lewis Hamilton PLC.
Yeah.
which is essentially essentially that he's going to sell shares in himself.
Yeah.
And
He's selling most of his right leg, I believe.
Yeah,
in
and,
relative terms.
So you're kind of taking a bet on his future earnings.
Justin Wilson did it.
Would you buy
Justin Wilson
Would
did.
you buy shares in Hamilton?
Yes.
No,
Yeah.
I think motor racing's too risky.
Really? Interesting.
Yeah, I think there's a chance that he could hurt himself or worse, kill himself, and that would be obviously terrible for him and his family. But I could be out of pocket anything up to 30 quid if I buy some shares, and that's not
Remember, the value of Lewis Hamilton could go down as well as up.
exactly. Remember, because of musical chairs, you could end up in the wrong car and not win anything for 3 years. You know?
Remember, Lewis Hamilton may end up at Spiker.
That's a good one.
Now that is not
Force
something I'll
one.
put money on. That is something I'll bet
exactly. You
against.
put money on that not happening.
Remember, Lewis Hamilton could end up in NASCAR Pro Truck Series.
How about that one?
He's not going to, though, is he?
No, he's not.
But if he did, he'd win it.
Long odds.
Well, he would, exactly.
Yeah. Actually, if Lewis Hamilton... Should we make a pact here, boys? If Lewis Hamilton ever gets a drive in the NASCAR, what's it called? Craftsman Truck Series, that we'll be there. We'll have to be there.
We'll be there for the debut race.
Done?
Yeah, we're done. Absolutely done. Did he not say
With
he
a pickup
said,
truck.
He said last week that he can see himself spending his entire career at McLaren.
I think he did say that. Yeah.
On Parky or something.
Oh, yeah, he was on Parky. He was quite...
I didn't see it. I missed it. But
Lewis, you're not a motor racing driver. You're a big, lovely lad. He was quite nice to him, actually.
Yeah. Cricket, I'd be absolutely delighted. He's coming on Top Gear.
No.
My parking impression has made me choke. He's coming on Top Gear in 2 weeks' time.
Lewis Hamilton
Yeah,
is?
he is, yeah.
Is he going to do a lap on the track? Is he going to do a...
Can I speculate on that? You see, that if Lewis does...
Maybe he's going to be driving something other than the usual cheap car.
Well, if Lewis does drive that car on that circuit, you know, there's going to have to be an FIA inspector there to make sure that he gets equal treatment with Alonso, who isn't even in the thing, you know.
And that his tea is at the same temperature as everybody else's.
That's how it works.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Fairness, yeah.
Not suggesting that he could be doing this, it's just an idea in our head, but we pay good money to see it. And on the final note on Lewis, Jenson Button, did you read this week, said, I don't think Lewis could ever win the World Championship. Did you hear that? He said that.
I mean, there was, to be fair to him, I think what he said was rather silly, but there is a sort of a grain of truth in the sense that you can look at the year that Lewis Hamilton has had, and you can, he's had a remarkably good chance this year, an unusually good chance. It could be that he could go for several more years in his F1 career without having as good a competitive position. It's conceivable. It would require that McLaren didn't build particularly good cars for the next couple of years.
Yeah.
But but that's possible. But for the next 3 or 4 years, he could be up against Raikkonen, Alonso in Ferraris that are quicker than his McLaren, and
Williams come good, and you've got
absolutely BMW are coming up. There are some other very good young drivers there. It's not, he might not have as good a chance as he had this year for a while.
True,
but he'll be a better driver next year.
Nonetheless, Jenson. Shut up.
Agree.
Just a bit of dignity here, mate. Just
unanimity on that.
Come on, you've got Ross Brawn on your side now, right? You've got 18 months before his skills filter through in terms of getting the right people around in the management and getting the car home and getting that data sorted from that wind tunnel, which is clearly the whole problem, in my humble opinion.
Well, that was clearly the problem this year. The wind tunnel was the hard of it.
It's got 18 months before they start seeing good data from that, and at which point, Jensen, if you're not in the top 3, you do need to eat your words about Lewis or prove it the other way. There. But we love all.
But
those
I would
guys,
but I would like to see Button, in a really good car. I'd like to see what he could do in a really good car.
But until he does, just zip it.
I might get a word with him sometime in the next couple of weeks. If I do, I'll have a hear on Gareth Jones on Speed. Did you like the way I went very low for that? Because it'd be nice to talk to him.
Warning, the promise of Jenson Button coming on this show may go down as well as up.
You know he's right. I was Gareth Jones.
I've been Zog.
I've been Richard Porter.
And we'll be Gareth Jones on Speed next time. Say bye, fellas.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Thou shalt not move until the lights go out. Thou shalt not get caught speeding in the pit lane. Thou shalt not worship top designers or follow tyre companies. Thou shalt not take the names of Juan Manuel Fangio, Alberto Ascari, Gilles Villeneuve, Lorenzo Bandini, Jim Clark, Roland Ratzenberger or Ayrton Senna in vain. Thou shalt not think that Bernie Ecclestone is a crook. Some people are just good businessmen. Thou shalt not always trust the FIA. Thou shalt not stop liking a driver just because they won the World Championship. Thou shalt not question Murray Walker. Thou shalt not judge drivers in the second Toro Rosso. Thou shalt not judge drivers in either Super Aguri. Thou shalt not advertise tobacco products. Thou shalt not consume tobacco products. Thou shalt not receive other people's data, burn it to DVD or photocopy it and then shred it. Thou shalt not get caught passing on information about weight distribution by text. Thou shalt not use the fact that you're a racing driver to get into girls' pants. Use it to get into their heads. Thou shalt not mention the lack of overtaking. Thou shalt not mention the embarrassing fuel burn part of qualifying. Thou shalt not mention the fact that only one driver in F1 is black. Thou shalt stop calling Ralph Schumacher gay. Thou shalt not put drivers or teams on ridiculous pedestals, no matter how great they were or are. Nigel Mansell, just a man. James Hunt, just a man. Jackie Stewart, just a man. Nicky Lauda, just a man. Alain Prost, just a man. Sterling Moss, just a man. Emerson Fittipaldi, just a man. Minardi, just a team. Jordan, just a team. McLaren, just a team. Williams, just a team. Ferrari, just a brand. Schumacher, just a driver. Alonso, just a driver. Hamilton, just a driver. The next big thing, just a driver. Thou shalt give equal credit to drivers and teams from non-English speaking countries as to those from English speaking countries. Thou shalt remember that sponsor days, sound bites and bling were never part of F1 in the golden age. Thou shalt not have a race without overtaking. 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 Thou shalt not pimp my ride. Thou shalt not scream if you want to go faster. Thou shalt not drive round corners as if it were on rails. Thou shalt not make some noise for Detroit. When I say grand, thou shalt not say pre. When I say F, thou shalt not say one. When I say he say, she say, ooh, it's a bit noisy, kill me. Thou shalt not refer to qualifying as quali. Thou shalt not say we had the right package and the team done a great job. Thou shalt not wish your girlfriend was as cute as Nico Rosberg. Thou shalt not say Formula 1 instead of Formula 1. Thou shalt not express your shock that yet another model got off with Jenson Button at a club last night in Monaco by saying, is it? Thou shalt listen to Gareth Jones on Speed, and thou shalt always show your skill on the racetrack. Gareth Jones on Speed was made by Whizbang and shows enough respect to Dan Lassac and Scroobious Pip.